Freemasons, who discuss progressive ideas and speculate on the meaning of life.
What happens in 1717 is still relatively mysterious. We've only got one broadly contemporary account of the foundation of the Grand Lodge. There are no reports in contemporary newspapers.
Freemasons have a long tradition of secrecy. Some of the original secrets of the Freemasons were the operative secrets. They knew how to cut stones so it would be as strong as possible if they put it across a lintel. They knew how to make arches. Very importantly, they knew how to make squares.
Getting the best jobs meant proving you were a member of the craft.
The stonemason who is traveling from one building site to another, how is he going to identify himself to someone else that he is a stonemason? Well, he's got a handshake, and this only shows that they are stonemasons.
The operative tradition of keeping trade secrets carried over to the speculative masons, who established handshakes, passwords, and rituals to create a sense of membership in their club. Just a few years after the meeting at the Goose and Gridiron, the Freemasons had hundreds of members, several branches called lodges, and a written constitution filled with fantastic symbols, signals, tools, and hand clasps. Even their own alphabet. They eventually devise a hierarchy of novice masons, master masons, and grand masters. 3 levels called degrees, each one reached through a secret initiation and rewarded with a password that members swear never to reveal under penalty of death. New members are never asked to join. They must do the asking, and they are approved by secret ballot. A white ball for a yes vote, a single dark stone means exclusion. It's the origin of the term blackball. Speculative Freemasonry was formally established in 1717. But some claim the craft goes back well before that meeting at the Goose and Gridiron. Just 7 miles from Edinburgh, Scotland, on the estate of one of the great Scottish clans, stands Roslin. For 500 years, one of the most intriguing churches ever built.
I've studied this certainly 40 years. I have to say that the place is as big a mystery to me almost as it was when I first began as to why it was built. It is a total mystery.
William Sinclair was the Masonic Grand Master of Scotland, and a favorite theory says he was a descendant of the Templar Knights. According to the legend, after their destruction by Philip of France in 1307, some of them retreated to Roslin to preserve their secrets in ritual and in stone, and to nurture their hatred of the French crown. Centuries passed. In the 1700s, they allegedly re-emerged as the Freemasons. And in 1789, after 5 centuries in hiding, they retaliated against the King of France by igniting the French Revolution. Or so the legend goes. It was an event unprecedented in history, the overthrow of a sitting king. Certain royals, who couldn't accept that the people could stage such a revolt, decided that the revolution had been a Masonic act of revenge. This is the origin of all modern conspiracy theories, the terrifying idea that history is made in secret.
There's something in us that desires to belong to the inner ring, that circle that believes in certain secrets of which the outside is not privy to.
If you can build a conspiracy theory about Jews or Freemasons or Catholics or humanists or any group, you're starting to make sense of a chaotic world because there's an invisible, hidden hand that's secretly operating everything, and that has a certain psychological appeal.
But the conspiracy theories don't end with France. Even more ambitious is the idea that the Masons established an entirely new country of their own, the United States.
you know that 14 of our United States presidents were Freemasons? Maybe they're doing something right. Is that coincidence or evidence of a shadow government? In the second installment of National Treasure, my quest to clear my family name in the Lincoln assassination leads me to the Book of Secrets, a book for presidents' eyes only.
There is a book, and it has the information you need.
There's this book that's been passed down from George Washington to George Bush, but nobody talks about it, and that's the Book of Secrets. And the place that it's kept is only known by the current president.
Where is it? I can't tell you about the book.
We discover new things every day. You never know what secrets of the past still remain to be discovered.
Oh, Area 51. Skinny says, shh, we don't have time. We don't have time.
Now, back to the secret history of the Freemasons.
It is one of America's great ironies that the leadership of a country founded upon the principles of liberty and open government is deeply entwined with a cryptic club where modern men masquerade as ancient kings. It's been this way since the beginning. It's December 1773. In a Boston tavern, a group of wealthy businessmen hold a secret meeting. Among them, Paul Revere and John Hancock. Both are Freemasons. The inn is a Masonic hangout. Tonight's agenda, however, is not ritual, but revolution. For years, these upper-class colonists have initiated members by acting out strange costume dramas. Now, fed up with English taxes, they dress up to initiate a new nation. They disguise themselves as Mohawk Indians, sneak aboard a British merchant ship, and dump a cargo of tea into the harbor. This act of sabotage becomes known as the Boston Tea Party.
Citizens are burned up about unfair taxes. They're going to take the tea and throw it in the harbor, and of course it's widely held to be a Masonic event.
2.5 years later, John Hancock and his brother Masons formally declare America's separation from Great Britain. At least 9 and perhaps as many as 50 Masons signed their names to the Declaration of Independence. Without the Masons, there may never have been an independent America.
Yeah, I think you could safely say that modern society would have been very different in its culture, in its aesthetics, in its outlook, if we had not had Freemasonry developing in the way it did in the 18th century.
But conspiracy theory holds that this government is not just dominated by Masons, but is controlled by them in secret. They even model their capital city on the cryptic geometry of the Masonic craft. Masonic icons appear throughout the bricks and marble facades of Washington. Even the laying of the cornerstone of the U.S. Capitol was overseen by George Washington, dressed in full Masonic regalia. The gavel in American courtrooms comes from Masonic tradition. And the Washington street grid just north of the White House traces out a star which appears in Masonic symbolism, but which some insist is a satanic pentagram. There is also the shocking symbolism on the reverse of the U.S. dollar bill. America's founding fathers appointed a committee to design an emblem for the infant nation. Ben Franklin, the only Freemason on the panel, suggested a pelican feeding her young. But the idea was shot down in favor of an eagle with 13 arrows in its grasp. And then there is the all-seeing eye atop a pyramid, apparently referring to Egypt, whose images are duplicated throughout the U.S. Capitol. These icons on the dollar are accompanied by 3 Latin words, Novus Ordo Seclorum, a reference, so it's claimed, to a new world order run by anyone from either president